Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Right, so let's take a look at some diminished ideas we can use to kind of spice up, something like Straight Cat Strut if we were, just kind of soloing over that kind of progression. Obviously we could have our minor pentatonic. Blues scale. And, with the nature of this kind of progression, it lends itself to, a lot of kind of slow. That, those kind of things anyway, which are great. But the idea of this is that we want to kind of target the G7. So when we get there, we're going to sort of start now using some diminished ideas. So here's our C minor. So we think of a diminished chord before that. And as we've kind of discussed before, these diminished ideas, shapes, you can move them all up 3 frets. The notes repeat, just in a different inversion. And it's got that, kind of sound anyway, what it wants to resolve. So even play around with that, just the idea of sort of thinking that it's, it comes up and it passes and we go around the cycle and, you might miss it and sort of waiting for the next time to start to think about just diminished on that G7. The reason I'm sort of going over and over that is just, really because it goes by that fast. If you're sort of too busy now, thinking about in terms of sort of melodic ideas, you're not, it's sort of going to come before you know it and then it'll pass. So even the idea of not sort of playing that much, maybe just letting the, you might just... The kind of, all of these licks I've been, using, I guess, kind of around this area. Here's our C minor pentatonic, or blues. So this diminished idea, sort of relation to this position, I'm kind of using 8 on the A, 6, 9 on the D, and 7, 10 on the G, 9 on the B, 7, 10 on the E. Or we can, rather than my little finger, sorry, my third finger on this 10th, maybe I'll just move up my first finger in a new position. 10, 13 on the G, 12 on the B, 10, 13 on the E. And it's looking at those notes and then, kind of not looking necessarily the closest in sort of, the minor pentatonic, or the blues scale. If I say one or the other, I kind of mean the two. It's, you know, one note difference, and it's basically sort of the same thing. So like I say, you know, use the backing track and sort of let it get going. Maybe just start with a, you know, learn these ones. We'll go through them now, the ones for, you know, the 4 examples. But even just yourself, just to get sort of into it, perhaps just like I said, let the backing track play, and just let maybe just C minor go through, or just the chords very lightly. And really, so you can sort of concentrate when it's coming up this diminished idea. You know, that's the idea. Like I say, experiment with the backing track. So that first lick from the examples, sliding up to the 8th on the low E, then 11th on the low E, then 8, 9, 10 on the A, 8 hammer from 9 to 10, 8 on the D. We sort of skip that note out, and we then go to the 9, 8 on the A, slide down to the 6th. And here's where we sort of build up our diminished idea. So so that's 6 from our kind of, you know, blues idea. So then 8 on the A, then 6, 9 on the D, then 7, 10 on the G, 9 on the B. Then I slide into our kind of scale note. So slide from the 7th to the 8th on the B. 10, 8 on the G, 10, kind of slide off on the D. The next one, sort of slightly different position, and it come in on like on a different beats. First time round, it's just on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And this next comes in on the and of the 1, 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. 1. So our root, 10th on the D, and 12, 11, 10 on the G. Sort of back into our more standard position, 8 on the G. Back to our root, the 10th on the D. As we know, we can always move into these sort of chord tones, you know, like one step below, so. As we go to that 10th on the D. 10, 9, 10 on the D, 8 on the G. So now I'm going to slide into our sort of diminished position. This this position. Is our sort of where we were previously looking at. So slide from 8 to 10 on the G, 13 on the G, 12 on the B, 10, 13 on the E, then typically our kind of, you know, scale note or chord note is this 15th, the 15th on the high, our G note, but which is the 5th of our chord, we want this flat 5 real, give it a bit more bluesy kind of sort of spice. And I play that as a double stop also with the C note on the 13th of the B. And we kind of finish that with a bit of a so got a double stop. So we're just in a next position of our blue, you know, minor pentatonic here. So 13, 11 on the E, 13 on the B, 12 on the G, 11 on the B, bit of a, give that some, bit of a shake, and sort of finish on the root, 13th on the B. Next one, coming on the 2, 3, 4, and 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Again, it's got our kind of chord tone, and we're going a half step into it, hammer from 9 to 10 on the A, and sort of move up our minor pentatonic. So 9, 10 on the A, 8, 10 on the D, 8 on the G. So then pull off 11, 10 to 8 on the G. Back to 10 on the G, 8 on the G, slide down now into our diminished position. So that's the 7th on the G. And we're going to sort of walk up the diminished idea. So 7 on the G, 10 on the G, 9 on the B, 7 on the E, 10 on the E. I'm going to come down but sort of missing out this 7th on the E. So 10, so we're finishing that. Sort of reach our high note, 10th on the E, then back to 9 on the B, and 10 on the G. And we slide in, to finish our diminished idea, slide into our chord tone of the C minor, so 7, slide to 8 on the G, and 10, 8 on the D. Miss out the 10th on the A, go straight to our blues note, 9, 8 on the A, slide down to the 6. The next time round, so again, this sort of fourth one, similar to the second, sort of relying on the phrasing a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. some slide, sort of hammering from that, hammering into our chord tone. So hammering from the 9 to 10 on the D, and back to the sort of more sort of pentatonic scale, 8, 10. Slide into our chord tone, so slide from the 7 to the 8th on the B, 10, 8 on the G. So then 7 on the G, our diminished idea. 7, 10 G, 9 B, 7, 10 E. And this kind of, kind of spat out blues kind of thing. So we don't know, a minor pentatonic, 11th bit of a double pick. So 11 2 times on the high E, 8, then 11, 8 on the B. Then a similar idea, but this time starting on the 8th of the high E. Pick 2 times, then 11, 8 on the B, 10, sort of finish on the G. Even I'm trying to remember it myself, so let's try it again slower. That's they're just kind of sort of some basic, ideas using this diminished sort of concept over this, over this 5 chord. There's our 1, C minor, 5. Those chords in between, the B flat 7 and the A flat 7, we can, like, as we've seen, we can just, and it's, really, that blues note, whether you slide into it, here. So, yep, give that a try, folks. I'll get to work on some more examples for this, and it's a great little thing. Even like I said, just using it to sort of target. Right, well, take care, folks. Have fun, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.